Greta Lin never expected to fall in love again so soon or so publicly. For fans who watched her journey unfold on 90 Day Fiancé, Greta's story has always been one of courage, heartbreak, and quiet resilience. She wore her emotions openly, even when the cameras captured her lowest moments. Now, months after stepping out of a chapter that left her questioning everything, Greta is smiling again, and this time, the glow feels different. In a candid, heartfelt reflection, Greta is opening up about her new relationship, and the way she tells it makes one thing clear: this isn't about replacing the past. It's about redefining the future. From survival mode to self-discovery. After her previous relationship unraveled on-screen, Greta admits she went into what she calls survival mode. The sudden end of a deeply personal connection, magnified by public opinion, left her exhausted and emotionally guarded. There were days I didn't recognize myself, Greta shares. I was strong for the cameras, but alone, I was just empty. Instead of rushing into something new, Greta chose distance, both emotional and physical. She traveled, reconnected with family, and spent long nights journaling through her fears. It was during this period, she says, that she realized how much of herself she had lost while trying to make love work. I confused compromise with self-erasure, she reflects, and I promised myself I would never do that again. How the new love entered her life. Ironically, Greta's new relationship didn't begin with fireworks. There was no dramatic meet cute, no whirlwind confession. It started quietly, almost invisibly. They met through mutual friends during a casual gathering, and Greta says she initially wasn't interested. I wasn't looking, she admits. I was actually very clear with everyone that I was done with dating. But conversations turned into laughter, and laughter turned into comfort. What surprised her most was how safe she felt, not excited in a chaotic way, but calm. For the first time, I didn't feel like I had to perform, Greta says. I could just exist. Keeping it private, on purpose. Fans have noticed that Greta has been unusually protective of this relationship, sharing very little online. That choice, she explains, is intentional. My last relationship belonged to everyone, she says gently. This one belongs to me. Greta believes that love doesn't need an audience to be real. While she understands the curiosity, especially from loyal 90 Day Fiancé viewers, she's choosing boundaries this time. I've learned that not everything needs to be explained to be valid, she adds. What's different this time? When asked what separates this relationship from her past, Greta doesn't hesitate. Mutual respect, she says, and emotional consistency. There are no games, no power struggles, no fear of saying the wrong thing. She describes a partnership built on listening, not fixing, on presence, not promises. He doesn't try to rescue me, Greta explains. He stands next to me. That distinction, she says, changed everything. Healing isn't linear, and she owns that. Greta is careful not to romanticize her healing. She admits there are still moments when old wounds resurface, when a tone of voice or a sudden silence triggers memories she thought were gone. But now, she says, I talk about it. I don't hide. Her new partner, she shares, doesn't dismiss those moments or rush her through them. Instead, he gives her space without withdrawing, reassurance without control. That's how I know this is real, Greta says softly. To the critics and the supporters. Public reaction to Greta's new relationship has been mixed, as expected. Some fans are thrilled to see her happy. Others question the timing, wondering if it's too soon. Greta hears it all, but she's no longer letting it define her choices. Healing doesn't follow a schedule, she says firmly. And love doesn't wait for permission. She expresses deep gratitude to the supporters who have followed her journey with empathy. You carried me when I didn't know how to stand, she says. I'll never forget that. Looking ahead, without pressure. So what's next? Marriage? Moving countries again? Another reality TV appearance? Greta laughs at the speculation. For once, I'm not planning 5 steps ahead, she says. I'm just living. She's focused on growth, peace, and protecting what she's building, slowly, intentionally, and with eyes wide open. I'm not chasing a fairy tale, Greta concludes. I'm choosing a life that feels honest. And in a world that often confuses drama for love, Greta Lin's quiet happiness might just be the most powerful storyline of all. For Greta, the hardest part of starting something new wasn't attraction, it was trust. After experiencing love under the intense spotlight of reality television, she admits she became wary of intentions, questioning whether people saw her or the version of her shaped by editing and public opinion. There's a difference between being known and being understood, Greta says. I've been known by millions, but understood by very few. This time, trust didn't arrive all at once. It came in small, almost invisible moments. Honest conversations without defensiveness, disagreements that didn't feel like threats, and silence that felt peaceful instead of heavy. Greta learned that safety in a relationship doesn't come from constant reassurance. It comes from consistency. I don't have to guess where I stand anymore, she explains. That's new for me. Rewriting her definition of love. One of the most striking changes in Greta's outlook is how she now defines love. Where she once believed passion had to be intense and all-consuming, she now sees love as something gentler, but far more enduring. I used to think love had to hurt to be real, she admits. Now I know that was trauma talking. Her new relationship has taught her that love can exist without chaos. There's no emotional roller coaster, no constant fear of loss. Instead, there's balance, two people choosing each other daily, without ultimatums or fear-driven compromises. That doesn't make it boring, Greta says with a smile. It makes it sustainable. A message to her past self, and to fans. Looking back, Greta doesn't regret her journey, even the painful parts. She believes every tear, every disappointment, led her to a deeper understanding of herself. If I could talk to the woman I was back then, she says, I'd tell her she wasn't too much. She was just with someone who couldn't meet her where she stood. To fans watching her evolution, Greta offers a simple but powerful message. Healing doesn't mean closing your heart forever. It means learning how to open it wisely. I'm not perfect, she says, but I'm finally at peace, and that feels like the real win. And for Greta Lin, that quiet peace speaks louder than any dramatic finale ever could.